Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. I'm Kerry. Today I'll be showing you how to crochet a cowrie shell. The pattern can be used to make both the tiger cowrie, the brown one with the spots, or a golden cowrie. For the golden cowrie you'd use orange and a creamy colour with a tiny bit of grey. I'll be showing you how to do the tiger cowrie today. When crocheted using 8-ply yarn and a 3mm hook, the large ones, the size is 11 centimetres wide by 7 centimetres high, or 4 1/4 inches wide by 2 3/4 inches. These medium cowries crocheted using 4-ply crochet cotton and a 1.5mm hook, are 7.5 centimetres wide by 5 centimetres, or 3 inches wide by 2 inches. The small cowries crocheted using 2-ply crochet cotton and a 1mm hook are 6 centimetres wide by 4 centimetres, or 2 1/4 inches wide by 1.5 inches. I'll be using Catona cotton today, so the size will be a bit smaller than these large ones. I'll be using Catona cotton. I've got 162 black coffee, 404 English tea and 242 metal grey. I've got a 2.5mm crochet hook, scissors, a darning needle to weave in the ends, and sewing thread and a needle to stitch the spots on. Now I'm starting at the top of the cowrie shell. I've got my 162, the black coffee, and I start with 8 chain. For row 1, I miss the first chain and work 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 chain. A single crochet is a double crochet using UK terms. For a single crochet we put our hook into the stitch, the second from the hook, and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook and take our hook with the yarn at the end through both loops. And we work 1 single crochet into the next stitch as well. Then we work 1 half double crochet into the following stitch. A half double crochet is a half treble using UK terms. For a half double crochet we put the yarn around the hook, hook into the stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook and take our hook with the yarn at the end through the 3 loops. Then we work 1 double crochet into the next stitch. A double crochet is a treble using UK terms. For a double crochet we put the yarn around the hook, hook into the stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook and take our hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops, yarn around the hook, hook with the yarn at the end through the remaining 2 loops. Then we work 1 half double crochet into the next stitch and 1 single crochet into each of the last 2 stitches. That just gives it the curved top. For row 2 we start with 2 chain and we turn our work into our first stitch. We're going to work 1 half double crochet and 2 single crochet. So 1 half double crochet and 2 single crochet. Then we work 1 single crochet into each stitch to the last stitch. Into our last stitch we work 2 single crochet and 1/2 double crochet. For row 3 we start with 2 chain and turn our work. We work 2 half double crochet into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, one half double crochet into each of the following 3 stitches, one single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, and 2 half double crochet into the last stitch. For row 4 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 2 single crochet into the first stitch, then we'll work 1 single crochet into each stitch to the last stitch. We'll work 2 single crochet into the last stitch and we'll have 15 stitches. So after our 2 single crochet into the first stitch, work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. And work 2 single crochet into the last stitch. For row 5 we start with 2 chain and turn. We work 1 half double crochet and 1 single crochet into the first stitch. Then we'll work 1 single crochet into each stitch to the last stitch. We'll work 1 single crochet and 1 half double crochet into the last stitch. We'll have 17 stitches. So after our half double crochet and single crochet in the first stitch, work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. Then work 1 single crochet and 1 half double crochet in the last stitch. And then we work 4 chain. That's for the little part down the side. For row 6 we miss the first chain and work 1 single crochet in each of the 3 remaining chain. And then we work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches of row 5. So we put our hook into the first stitch and bring up a loop, and hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop. Then yarn around the hook and take our hook with the yarn at the end through all the loops. Then we work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. we'll work 2 single crochet into the last stitch and we'll have 20 stitches. So after our joined single crochet, work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. And work 2 single crochet into the last stitch. For row 7, we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each of the first 15 stitches. Then we work a joined single crochet over the next 2 stitches. We leave the rest of the stitches. For row 8, we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. We'll work 2 single crochet into the last stitch and we'll have 17 stitches. So work 1 single crochet in each stitch to the last stitch. And work 2 single crochet into the last stitch. For row 9, we start with 1 chain and turn and work 2 single crochet into the first stitch and then 1 single crochet into each of the next 15 stitches. We've got 1 stitch left. We leave that one and we work 2 chain. For row 10, we miss the first chain and work 1 single crochet into the last chain and then we work 1 single crochet into each of our 17 stitches. For row 11 we start with one chain and turn and work one single crochet in each of the 18 stitches. For row 12 we start with one chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 3 stitches. So we put our hook into the first stitch and bring up a loop, hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, and hook into the third stitch and bring up a loop. We've got 4 loops on the hook. We put the yarn around the hook and take our hook with the yarn at the end through all the loops. Then we work a joined single crochet over the next 2 stitches. Then we'll work one single crochet in each stitch till we have 2 left. We'll work a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches and we'll have 14 stitches. So after our first 2 joined single crochets, work one single crochet in each stitch to the last 2 stitches. And work a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches. For row 13 we start with one chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 3 stitches. And then one single crochet into each of the next 10 stitches. We've got one stitch left, we'll miss that one. For row 14 we start with one chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches, one single crochet into the next stitch, one half double crochet into each of the following 2 stitches, one double crochet into the next stitch. That's a treble using UK terms. Then one half double crochet into each of the following 2 stitches, one single crochet into the next stitch, and a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches. And then we fasten off, and that's the top of the cowrie shell done. I'll weave in these ends, and this is the right side, so I'll weave them in at the back, and then I'll be back with my 404, the English T, and we'll work around the bottom of the shell. Now for the bottom of the cowrie shell, I've got my 404, the English T, and I find the bottom of the side with less shaping, and I join 6 stitches up from the bottom. So it's in about here. I work a slip stitch into the next stitch. So I put my hook into the stitch, bring through a loop and take it straight through the loop on the hook. Then I work a joined half double crochet over the following 2 stitches. So I put the yarn around the hook, hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, then yarn around the hook, hook into the following stitch and bring up a loop, and then yarn around the hook and take my hook with the yarn at the end through all the loops. Then I work 2 chain and slip stitch in that same stitch as the last part of the joined half double crochet. That's just for that first little point part there. Then I work 2 chain and work 1 double crochet in the next stitch. A double crochet is a treble using UK terms. Then I work 1 chain and work 1 half double crochet into that same stitch as my double crochet. And then I work 1 half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. And then 1 half double crochet and 1 single crochet in the first stitch along the bottom. And then I work 1 single crochet into each of the next 7 stitches along the bottom. Now I've got 1 stitch left along the bottom. I work 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet into that stitch. If you're at the last one, I'd just miss one of your 7 single crochet along there. And then we're going to work a joined double crochet over the next 2 stitches. So we put the yarn around the hook, hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, and yarn around the hook and take our hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops, and yarn around the hook and hook into the next stitch. I'm just in that corner there and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops, yarn around the hook, hook with the yarn at the end through 2 more loops. And then we work 2 half double crochet into the next stitch. That's going up the side, and then 2 double crochet into the next stitch. Then we can work 1 half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Now we're going to work a joined double crochet over the next 4 stitches. So we put the yarn around the hook, hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook and take our hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops. Then we put the yarn around the hook, hook into the next stitch. I'm just at the corner there and I bring up a loop, yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops. Then yarn around the hook, hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook and take our hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops, then yarn around the hook, hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook and take our hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops. I've got 5 loops on the hook. I put my yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through all the loops. And then we work 1 half double crochet into each stitch up to that point there. Now I've worked a half double crochet into the point. I work 5 chain, I miss the first chain and work 1 single crochet into each of the next 3 chain, and 2 single crochet into the last chain. That's just for that little section round there. Now we're going to neaten around the top of our cowrie. So we join in the 162, the black coffee. I just put my hook into the next stitch along the top and bring up a loop of the black coffee. And then I just work 1 slip stitch in each stitch. Up around the top of the shell. And once I get back to the English tea, I'll fasten off. Now I'll weave in those ends and I'll be back with the grey and work this little section here, and we'll work the spots as well. Now for this section here, I've got my 242, the metal grey, and I join it across from where this point meets, so just near the end here. and I'll work one slip stitch in each stitch around to the point. I'm just going to work into the back loop only, just into that loop there, one slip stitch into each stitch. And slip stitch into the end of the point, and I'm going to fasten off, leaving a bit of a longer tail. I'm going to use that to stitch the two sides together. So that's that part done. For the spots, I've worked two different sizes. I've worked 7 large ones. For the large spots, I make a magic loop. There's lots of ways to make a magic loop, so make them how you feel most comfortable. I just put my hook on the yarn, bring the short end over the hook and the long end over the short end to make a circle. Put the yarn around the hook and bring my hook with the yarn at the end through the circle. Then I work one chain. Into my circle I work one single crochet, one half double crochet, one single crochet and one half double crochet. I pull the circle tight so I take hold of the tail and ease it in, and join with a slip stitch in the top of the first stitch and fasten off. And that's a large circle. So I'll be working 6 more of them, but I'll work them off camera. For the small circle, I make a magic loop and work one chain and work 3 single crochet into the circle. I pull the circle tight and join with a slip stitch in the top of the first stitch and fasten off. And I'll work 2 more of those off camera. So I'll work the rest of the spots. I'll weave in the ends, except for the grey end I'm going to use to stitch it together, and then I'll be back and we'll put it together. Now there's my pieces. I've got the shell and the 10 spots. The first thing I'll do is stitch the grey bits together using this tail. I stitch it through the front, just pull the 2 sides together. Next I attach the spots. I put one at the centre top and one in that section there, another in that corner, and one in that corner, one about halfway up the side, and one in the bottom, another one in between those two, and another one in between those two there, and then just the other 2 in the middle in between. So I'll attach those and I'll be back to show you the finished Tiger Cowrie shell. And there's the finished Tiger Cowrie shell. The size is 9 centimetres wide by 6.5 centimetres, or 3.5 inches wide by 2.5 inches. If you've liked my video, please like, subscribe and share. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest and Twitter. The details are in the description below, along with the details of my website where I have my patterns, the details of my Patreon and the details of my Facebook group. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.